Hello guys. Well, it has been a bit for me to actually, record a video. Let me actually put myself out here in the top. But yeah, thank you so much for actually clicking on this video. As you guys can see from the title, we are actually going to talk about the strongest Raimon teams and we're going to rank them in this video. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. This is just an idea that I just randomly came up with as I was just biking back home from internship. And I just thought to myself, like, that's actually a really fun idea to do for a video. So let's just do it. How I'm going to be ranking this is going to be an interesting way I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to be ranking every single Raimon team that represented the school Raimon. Which basically excludes Chronostone. I did this specifically because I felt like it was gonna be very obvious what the ranking, at least for the Storm team, was gonna be. And as I'm saying it, Storm, it's not Raimon anymore, it's Storm. It also became like many different teams at some point as well. As the characters had to go to like these other teams in the whole tournament. So I just felt like, because that specific team, it started out as Raimon, but it just wasn't that anymore at the end of the season. I just didn't want to include that. So the only teams that I include as being Raimon is that it was beginning to finish Raimon. So this means the first season, of course, the second season. This means the first season of Go, and that also means RS. Those were the only teams from Raimon that actually were Raimon from the start and also stayed Raimon up until the end. So how we're gonna do this is, I'm not gonna rank every single character, but what I did was I grabbed the goalkeeper of every single team that was from this Raimon, because good thing that every single Raimon at the end did have a different goalkeeper. So that is Tachimakai for Raimon Team 2. That is oh well, Shinsuke actually was not near the end, now that I think about it. That's actually Son Goku, so I should actually grab Son Goku. But that's then gonna be Son Goku, of course, for Raimon Go. And then we also got, what's his face? Then we got Norika for RS, and then we also have Endo for Team 1, for Raimon Team 1. So that's basically how we're gonna do it. So, yeah, let's actually just start with, I'm gonna also put everyone in C for right now, or maybe I can even just make a list real quick, or a tier below, so that I can just rank everyone over there. Or put everyone over there, because otherwise it's just gonna be pretty really annoying to keep on finding them, in this whole tier list. But we're gonna start off with the team that I think that should be in C. And oh, also the way I'm gonna rank this is the characters that are in plus their individual play. Then we also got for number 2, and I also then have this to go back on and talk about the characters, then 2, it's gonna be their combo play, and number 3 is just the sheer power of the team itself. So number 1 is individual characters, and their moves, of course. Then we have the combo plays that they can make, and then we also have just then the overall strength of the team, how I feel like they should be ranked. So yeah, let's start off with the team that I want to put in C, and that is Raimon 1. So, as we're going to Raimon 1, Raimon 1, in my opinion, it's not a bad team, but it's definitely, out of all the Raimons, in my opinion, it's obviously the worst. We have about, as I look at it, we have Kurimatsu, we have Max, Sam, Willie, Jim. Then we also got Timmy, and also Honda/Steve. Those are 7 characters. 7 out of the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, like, out of the 15 characters that they have, which is also a lot of characters, but 7 of the 15 are bad. Like, and that's just the way it is. Honda, Steve has not done anything. Kurimatsu hasn't done anything. Max hasn't done anything. What's his name? Sam hasn't done anything. Willie only Magnetic Crash, and that's it. Jim only coil turn near the end. That's it. And then shooting, Timmy only had he used what's it called? He used whirlwind twister, and we saw that he was able to use kung fu header, and I think I mean, but like he never used it in a match. The same thing goes for Sam and also for what's it called from Max. They could use cross drive and grenade shot, but it just doesn't cut it. They're like 7 out of the 8 out of the 15 are bad. Like I think it's quite obvious that that like this team is just not really doing it. The cool thing about this team was though is that there were there were like a few key characters, of course, and they brought some new characters in that all had some influence on the team, so that's good. The new characters that came in were good, but honestly, this is basically always the case. And those new characters, those were of course Domon, Ichinose, let me think, Kido. And then, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really see going just like new, but like he was not in the team at the start. But basically, those 3 characters were new, and they all were influential for the team. Like because of Domo, they were actually able to have like a good defender, and they also had the Phoenix and also Tripegasus, so that's really good. Then they also had Ichinose, who came in, who actually gave them the ability to use Pegasus in the Phoenix, and he's also just a good character in their team. Like he did a lot. He was able to also use what's it called, Twin Boost together with what's his face, Kido. So fantastic. And Kido, like we all know Kido. Kido, like he was the start of the Inazuma break, and that was the only way they ever won the whole entire tournament. If the Inazuma break never was a thing, then they wouldn't function. And also, he was the only reason as to why they actually won. What's it called? That match versus Wild? No, not Wild. Farm. Yeah, versus Farm. Because he was able to actually spot that everyone was just changing the way they were. Like I feel like, in my opinion, it's quite obvious and that this is basically the worst team. Like once again, 7 out of 15 characters were very weak. Their combo plays, of course. I talked about the Phoenix for Pegasus. And I feel like, oh yeah, and also I'm going to talk about the weaknesses of the team as well. I forgot about that one. Their strength is that they have very strong combo play, but their weakness is that most of this combo play is central around Goenji, and that's the biggest weakness. If Goenji is removed from the team, the power level of this team goes down dramatically, and that's just the way it is. And yeah, it's just basically that the team doesn't have very strong solo players. Basically the backbone is Goenji. If Goenji drops, the entirety of the team drops. Like Somioka was never really fully cutting it the way that Goenji was. And for example, Inazuma Otoshi, Inazuma Ichigo Otoshi, Honono Katsumidori, Inazuma Break, all of that stuff, that all had to do with Goenji. And the only other move that they then really have as combo plays are then Twin Boost and what's that move called again? Oh yeah, Twin Boost, and then Tripegasus and the Phoenix. So it's quite obvious that this team, even though it's like, it's of course the first team, but it's very weak if Goenji is not there, and that's just also one of their biggest weaknesses. So that's why this team, in my opinion, is in C. So let's continue on to we can actually go a rank up, because from here I feel like the teams actually become way stronger. And I'm just going to be talking about now just the team just on their own, because I already knew from the start that I would be putting Raimon 1 in number 1 in the C ranking. But let's go to Raimon 2 now, which we're going to now talk. We're gonna drag Tachimakai, but let's first talk about Raimon 2, because I feel like Raimon 2 is actually a quite interesting team. Here we have the lineup of Raimon 2, and then we also have I think Rika and Willy on the bench, and that are the only characters here. But I feel like Raimon 2 is a very, very interesting team. Individually, the characters are strong. We have Tachimakai being a very strong goalkeeper. With at the end of everything, he evolved his Mugenda hand to like grade 4, I think. So he's a pretty strong goalkeeper. It's just unfortunate that in the last match, the Dark Emperors were able to like really just do him in. But then we also have Tsunami with Tsunami Boost, and also being able to together with Toko and Gogeta use Perfect Tower, which blocks shots. So that's very strong. Then we also have, of course, Kabiyama. Kabiyama is just like central defender, can really go around him. Gokure being able to use Senpujin, also just very good. We have Toko, just very strong midfielder who can act as a defender with her defensive capabilities of the tower. So she can individually block shots, and she can also do it together with Tsunami and with Gokure. And she has the ability to use Butterfly Dream, which is not that strong of a shot, but she has options, you know, so that's really cool. Then we have Endo, of course, just being their new libero and being able to use Inazuma Break, Megaton Head. He can also switch in for becoming a goalkeeper. He is able to use the Earth. He's a very, very strong character, obviously, but in this season, they just made him way stronger. They just made him really, really strong, and I actually think that him being a libero actually is just fitting perfectly for this team because of his because of the offensive capabilities that he got. And then we go to Domo. Domo is very interesting because he started out as a defender and then became a midfielder as he got Volcano Gun as well. So he's just very nice. Like being able to shot block is just very strong. We have Kiro as well. Kiro joining in together, of course, with Endo and with Domo for Death Zone 2. So just really strong character to coordinate with all of the other characters. We have Ichinose. Ichinose being able to now use Flame Dance, so he has defensive capabilities now, together with his shot power, of course, and also combining together with Endo and with Domo for the Phoenix. Then we have Fubuki. Fubuki, fantastically strong character, can act as both a defender and a forward. Like he can do basically anything he wants. Has a very strong shot near the end with Wolf Legend. Of course Ice Ground, very, very high speed, just extremely good character, can combine together with what's it called, with Goenji to go for Crossfire, and Goenji, of course, just being very strong with his newly acquired Bakinet Storm. So individually, these characters are just strong. These characters are just totally fine. And of course, we're going, of course, to Rika. Rika is one of the newer characters, one of the newer strikers. She is, she's one of the weaker characters, honestly. But I have to admit, like, she got Suken Gaku shot or something. She literally got it in, like, the match versus the Genesis. And I thought that was pretty nice. And she also is able to use Butterfly Dream, of course, together with Toko. So I think she was good for what she was worth for as long as she was there. She was just a decent character, and then of course really just being really so. So basically, most of these characters are just individually just strong. They have the ability to fend for themselves, and they have shown off their abilities many different times. So I feel like these characters are just good on their own. And this is also the season where they improved on Raimon, and they started to work on not only the individual plays but also the plays together. So we have like many different new co-op moves like Perfect Tower, Death Zone 2, Crossfire, the Earth, Butterfly Dream. So that is all just very nice. I liked it that they came up with all these new co-op shots for them, or co-op moves for them. So that's really nice. We also have in this iteration of Raimon, it's very heavily focused on defense. And I mean, in my opinion, I love defense, of course, as you guys know. Like, defense is like one of my favorite positions, and I love defensive moves anyway. So when I saw how much this team grew, I saw like how strong of a defense the team has, but the team also has firepower. And near the end, it became like even like fully more. It came just more to fruition because Fubuki finally became the character that he was supposed to be, and he was able to have a very strong shot on his own. And this is basically what makes the team just um, just click. It really was what Raimon 2 needed, because Raimon 2 heavily relied on either Fubuki or Goenji, because they were not there at the different times that they were, of course, because at the moment that Goenji left, they needed Fubuki, and then they had Fubuki, and then Fubuki at some point had to leave, and then Rika was kind of like stepping in and everything, but it was already working. Then later on, Goenji came back, and Fubuki near the end got his power fused, and he became a very strong character as well. And the team as is now is just really strong, in my opinion. It's just so solid. Like, all these characters are very strong on their own, or decently strong on their own, and have enough core moves together so that it just does not really get stale, or that it becomes like a one-man show, as in Raimon 1, where it was basically the Goenji show for like nearly the entirety of the season, because there just was nobody else decent enough to do anything, or it was in combination with Goenji. But now it's just not only Goenji. Like, most of these seasons, they have done it without him, and they've had to rely on Fubuki. But after that, and in between that, they've also found their own strengths, like Tsunami having a very strong long shot, Endo being able to also be libero and score with his Megaton head. He has the Earth as well, and joining in together with Kiro and with Domo as well for Death Zone 2. Like, there are just way more different combinations within this team that make it that it's once again not a one-man show. And there's a lot of variety in how the characters play. Like, I mean, heck, Endo became a freaking libero for this team. Like the team is just so different and so interesting. So I really like that. I feel like this team just is very, very decent, and I don't necessarily, I'm not really gonna say that the team is like, it has like any glaring weaknesses. I just feel like they're just teams just way stronger. Like this team just needs like more like stronger moves, honestly. I feel like this team is super decent. And also teamwork, fantastic, like I just feel like this team is just super decent. So I'm actually going to put this team in A, but I kind of want to put them in SSA, because like, honestly, the thing is that the next upcoming teams just have like a power level that is just crazy. So yeah, I just feel like it's just such an interesting it's just very interesting developments that are happening within the other teams. So it's also quite funny that I'm actually putting Raimon 1 in C and then Raimon 2 in A, but I feel like there's like a clear difference between the two teams. I felt like if Raimon 2 had to play against Raimon 1, they would destroy Raimon 1 like easily. So now we're gonna go to the next team, which is gonna be Raimon Go. Raimon Go. Raimon Go is such a strong team. Basically, near the end, having Son Goku, of course, with his fence of Gaia, being able to fend off against a lot of strong shots in the anime, even some Kishin shots, not like specifically Kishin, his Satsu moves, but like some characters who would use a Kishin move or would have a Kishin active, then it would shoot. It was able to block it with his fence of Gaia, and that really says something. He later also as well got Burai Hand, but that was like in season 2 that it was shown off, so I'm just not really sure if I want to count it. We also had Kurumada. I felt like Kurumada was I felt like it was like, how do you say it? If you would give him like a grade, it would be like a 5.5. Like, he would always be that character where you're like, he is not that bad, but like he'd had like certain points where he'd, do something really nice, but other than that, you wouldn't really see too much of him after that. So quite unfortunate. Hikaru, Kageyama Hikaru, Kageyama is just a really good character. Like he came in, got extend zone, was really new at the game, but still just learned a move right away and was able to actually score against different teams. So I feel like just Kageyama just like they just gave him whatever he needed. They honestly gave him what he needed, and I just feel like he's just a strong character. It's just a good character. Then we have Nishiki, of course. Nishiki just being very good. Having a Kishin, like once again, having a Kishin will just put you right up there, easy. Having Acrobat Keep, Adere Hoto, Kishin is complete. Is honestly complete. Strong character. We have Kirino. Kirino being like the funny thing about Kirino is that Kirino becomes just like way better, like immensely better once he gets into Chronostorm. But just now, Kirino is just a decent defender, but he was like one of the pillars of the defense. He was able to guide people. He was able to give commands to people, tell people what to do. The Mist just came in like a few times to block off a few of the offense of the opponent. So just decent character, just strong. Amagi actually having a main role at some point in a match, where it was the only character to actually be able to stop the unstoppable shot. So Amagi actually putting in nothing more but the finest of work. He has had some good moments where he used his block move, but at some point he did really get benched a lot. And then he just got like a central wall like one match, and then he kind of went back. But I felt like for what it was worth, he did what he had to. Kariya, I think we all love Kariya. Kariya is just like a fantastic character. Hunter's Net is just such a strong move, like being able to stop so many shots, or even to weaken so many shots. The character has been shown off to really have like his attitude. I love his attitude. At first, it was kind of interesting to actually look at because I didn't expect him to have the attitude that he did towards Kirino at some point, but then later on, he adjusted and he really became like a part of the team. I thought that was just really fun to see. And then later on, as well as he could work together with Kirino and be able to fight against all of these other opponents and just have his stamina and just his good stats. Basically this character just has really good stats and just like a block move just makes him a very strong defender. So I'm really happy about that. I really think that the character is really awesome. Shindo, like Shindo's just a good character. Like he's one of Raimon's best characters, honestly. He has Gashin, he has a dribble move, he has a shot move. Just like honestly, just a good character. Like I just can't really say anything more about it, honestly. And also being able to use Ekashin Fusion. Shinsuke, one of the characters that is one of the strongest as well in Raimon, being able to use a block move, a shot, a dribble move, and also a Kashin. Outstanding. Fantastic character within this season specifically. We're not talking about Chronos or Shinsuke, okay? We're not talking about Chronos or Shinsuke. Like, we don't talk about him, okay? But basically, Shinsuke in this season, fantastic character. Well, like, if I would look at it, I'd say it's probably top 5. Yeah, he's top 5 in Raimon Go, definitely. We also have Tenma. Tenma being either the best character in this team or on number 2. This character is absolutely amazing. Y'all know how much I love Tenma, but this character is just so fantastic. Like having a dribble, a block move, a shot, having a Kishin as well. Just the spirit of this character is absolutely fantastic. Having a evolved Kishin. Do I need to say more? Like Tsurigi as well. Tsurigi being able to also use a Kishin in very, very, very strong shots. I think that's also just quite obvious. Like he also has some story around him as well. It's just really interesting, cool character too. I just really like the character. And now we're actually going into a lot of characters that aren't really that special, but Hamano, just fun character, but isn't really that strong. Only has like one dribble, and that's it. And it's just really being shown as just like a really laid back dude. And yeah, just a decent character. Then we have Ichino and Aoyama because I'm talking about them like just together because they honestly haven't really done anything separately before. Um, so yeah, like they can both together use what's it called? I think it's called Britannia Cross. They've used it only like in the last match, but I guess. And then Aoyama can also use press to turn, but I mean, like, I feel like that's not really that special. Hayami might be their worst character. But even then, well, nah. Like Hayami hasn't, like, he really hasn't done too much on the team. But yes, but like most of these characters have had like a good amount of screen time as well. So yeah, Hayami just doing whatever he does. And then Kuruma, Kuruma is like he is so close, sort of, to being like, oh, but he's always just like Kuruma. Like it's not like why would you have Kuruma? Like honestly, I just want to say that Kageyama has scored more than Kuruma. Yeah, but other than that, this team absolutely fantastic. Just the overall like the overall power of the team itself, just very strong, very strong. And that is obviously as well because of the Kishins. Like, that's just a thing. Like, I just have to count it. Like, the Kishins are playing a major factor. Like, honestly, if the teams from if Raimon 2 would fight against Dragon League, I'm not sure if they would win that. Like, that stuff was OP. Like, that stuff was unbelievable. So, you know, I just feel like this team is just really strong. Like, with their Kishins, they had the capability to actually to do a lot of stuff against other teams, and their teamwork also on point. They have a lot of tactics as well with flying root pass, ultimate thunder, what was it again, like double wing as well. Like they have different tactics as well. Like they have like everything. They have tactics, they have Kashins, they have go-up moves, but not too many at all. They have like cut to be defense and Fire Tornado, double drive, like okay, a little bit of a Britannia Cross there. But other than that, this team wasn't necessarily focused around what's it called? Around co-op moves. It was more centered around their very strong Kashins and their strong team play. This team had a lot of team play, a strong team play, and individual strength. That is what the team was about. And at some point, because it was also kind of obvious how they went for it, because Endo kind of trained this team for every single character to have very strong individual plays, because he wanted, for example, to have Tenma train for I think it was like a dribble move, a dribble, then also a shot, and also a block move. And he kind of, you know, like treated the team that way, and he used their strengths to bring out the most of the team and the most of themselves. And of course the Kishins at some point came as well, and that just made individual characters just a lot stronger than any other character that just didn't have it. So this means that characters like Nishiki, Shinsuke, Shindo, Tenma, and Tsurigi, the 5 characters that they have, are just so strong individually that they kind of make up for the amount of the co-op moves that they have. So the co-op moves that they have aren't really there too much, and it's just more focused on their sheer strength, and then also the team play within that, with all of their tactics, and just their just, well, I guess their teamwork, how that works together to, you know, get the wins on matches. So I felt like this is honestly like a clear S. I feel like there just hasn't really been a team that is just as strong as this team before. And and then also the weaknesses of this team. Sorry, the weaknesses of this team is like, honestly, it's not really there. It's not really there. Like it's honestly just, at some point opponents are just stronger. That's it. That's it. Like at some point, opponents are just stronger, and it's kind of like the same thing with Raimon Two. Like in that dimension, I guess we don't have Kishins and everything, but yeah, like the Kishins just make everything just very good. Like these characters are just able to use them, and they just put them on a pedestal. Um, and let's now go to Inakuni Raimon. Inakuni Raimon, in my opinion, very good. We're actually gonna go to their team right now. Norika. Norika was at first a goalkeeper. Oh, I'm actually going to be moving myself up here real quick for this one so that you guys can actually see the characters. But Norika at first, she was a goalkeeper who everyone thought that sucked. I always believed in her, and at some point, what I believed in actually came to fruition because she got Mermaid Feel and the character became way better. Like, Mermaid Feel made the character finally function, and I'm so happy that they gave her that because it showed off that she was actually able to sub a lot of shots, and I'm really happy about that. So once again, we're going to now go to Hayori. I think his name is Hayori. Didn't really expect too much of this character, but actually really funny how this character evolved. He got shooting cut, gravity cage, which is one of my favorite block moves ever, honestly, and definitely one of my favorite block moves in RS. And then he also got flash dance. It's just very funny character, and yeah, just honestly, the fact that Hayuri has gravity cage puts him already somewhere because, for example, it's like perfect tower. Perfect tower is just one of the only 3-man shot blocking moves out there, and having a 3-man shot blocking move is just so strong. It's so strong, and combined with like a good goalkeeper, like you're gonna stop a lot of stuff. You're gonna stop a lot of stuff. And I mean, there has been a moment where they use gravity cage in combination with not Mermaid Phil, but unfortunately Uzumaki the Hand, and it actually did fail. But I felt like if it was gonna be Mermaid Phil, then there would have been a difference. But oh well. Then we also have Mansaku. I was just super interested in how they used Mansaku and made him evolve. This character first was a defender, then they made him a libero. He got a dribble move as well, and he actually scored goals. That is the biggest part about this character. This character, unlike Endo, who had a clear focus on his shots as well, because Mansaku didn't have Mansaku and Endo are basically different in their libero style. We have Endo, who is basically based around having strong offensive capability, and then we have Mansaku, who is more about bringing up the ball with his spark wind and kind of making either individual plays or plays together with his team through that. So it's so interesting how they implemented him, and in this team, because I actually feel like in Inazuma Japan he sucks, but in this team he actually put in a lot of work, and I really thought that his individual plays were decent. Yeah, I really thought they were nice. We have I think his name is Hattori, able to use gravity cage, but honestly he's not really that strong, and that's very unfortunate because I really like this character, but this character just didn't really cut it. They will also have Golem, being able to use the wall, and he has used it on different occasions that he actually was able to either block people off or weaken shots, and I was really happy about that. Like, they showed up that he has the wall is just like a decent contender for at least the season 1 Kabuyama, because season 2 Kabuyama is just absolutely fantastic. But Golem has put in work with his wall, and I just like the moments that they implemented this character. And honestly, for most of these characters, I like the way that they implemented them. I just do. I feel like every single character on this team has done something or has had enough screen time, and like in combination with that has done something in comparison with like Raimon One. And yeah, that's kind of like a roast to Raimon One, but yeah, I just really feel like Raimon One is just like Then we also have, I don't know anymore what his name is, but he was the captain, of course, of the team. Um, like he didn't really feel too much like a captain, gotta be honest. And he actually had no individual really strong plays whatsoever. It only nearly like became to the end. So this character was honestly kind of dead until like the last two matches, and then he actually did some really influential stuff. But other than that, he really didn't do that much. Like, of course, one match he was the best, of course, because he was able to shoot through and get victory line in. And of course, like because of that, he was getting injured, but okay, whatever. Goodbye. Um, Haruna. Haruna was a character that I at first thought, of course, was going to be a defender, but he actually became a midfielder. And then he got Kurinoya. Kurinoya became a pass move, but also became Kurinoya a shoot version. So he just used a different mechanic, and I just think that's just super interesting. And he later on as well got he got Meteor Drop, which I guess like they used it once and it was over. And he also had like one other thing going on, but I think I forgot about that. Oh yeah, Kurino Yari, but Kurino Yari didn't score. Like this character like was always like, because of his design, you feel like he's cool and he should do something, but he doesn't really do too much. Like he had some good Kurino Yas, but like he's just decent. Like he's like a 6 if you would grade him from 1 to 10, like he's a 6. Maybe even a 6.5, but then you'd be taking in like the design. Okuri, I think his name is, the dude with the glasses. The labyrinth, and also being able to use gravity cage. Sorry, but like I keep coming back to gravity cage. I think it's so important that we have gravity cage, because 3 characters are able to use that move. That is so strong. That is so strong. We haven't had that in any other Raimon. Any other Raimon was just either like Raimon 2, the perfect tower, or it was what's it called? Or it was like individual plays from Karya, or Karya, or it was only Karya really. Like Karya was like the character that did most of the shot blocking in Raimon Go. So yeah, that, and in the first Raimon they didn't really do that much of shot blocking. Like maybe the wall here, but that's it. But Okuri is like also kind of decent, but honestly it didn't really do too much. What's his face? Oh my god, how can I forget his name? Oh my gosh, I actually forgot his name. Wow, that is okay, that's insane. But the dude who used Fire Lemonade, just decent, but then to the point where he got backdraft. That was nice. And then he got Fire Lemonade, then he just won with the meme, so I was just like, okay, well, that's fantastic. Oh yeah, Gojin, of course, Gojin. But yeah, he was just decent, but more near the end. And now we get into Inamori. Probably the strongest character on this team, obviously. Having a dribble, having many different co-op moves with other characters. Oh yeah, and also Norika is also able to use what's it called? Polar Bear. So yeah, just strong character. But yeah, he was able to use different co-op moves. He also was able to use a shot of his own. And he at some point became like nearly every single position. Like he was everywhere. This character became like a forward, then a midfielder, then a defender. He just did like a lot of stuff. And yeah, even though he was not the captain, he was like the spirit of the team, and I really liked Inamori. Even though I think his design is actually still ugly, I like his character. And then we go to Kuzomaru. This form of Kuzomaru was just kind of like he's just only able to use Fire Tornado. And then he was able to use other moves like, of course, Meteor Drop, Polar Bear, what's it called again? What's the move called? Counter Drive, which was cool. And then he also got his own move, Hidaruma Bakuretsuda or something. But yeah, just he was a strong character on their team. I think this team just had everyone was just either I feel like mostly just every single character was at least just like a 6, you know, like a 5.56 at least, to the very least. Besides, no, okay, I give that to everyone because the team also basically stayed the same for most of the for the entirety of the match or for the entirety of the season. Like every single character like did something, you know, like even Hattori, who has like a shot, but I mean, like, why would you let him score if even Matsuku can score, or Inamori can score, or Kozomaru can score? So, you know, like there were some characters who were like nice, and they had like I felt like a lot of characters, especially the characters who could use Gravity Cage, had niches. Like this team had a lot of characters who had niches, and because of that, I felt like this team was at least stronger than Raimon One, because Raimon One just had characters that didn't even have a niche. Like some characters just were straight up just worse. Like they just didn't do anything. They just had nothing to bring to the table. But some characters in this team did. And yeah, their team play was just nice. Like this team was basically only really team play. Like if like there wasn't really like anyone super OP on this team. Like they kept on relying on team play. So I felt that was nice. And something about this team as well is for the short period that they had and from the moment that they started, they grew exponentially. So I felt like this team was just so interesting to watch because every single match you would see that someone would just whip out like a new move and it would just be like surprisingly strong and then would do something, and then, you know, like I thought this team was kind of nice. So I'm actually gonna put this team in, kind of want to put them in B tier, but I kind of want to put them like in A B because I felt like the potential of this team was just there. The potential of this team was there. I felt like even near the, like at the end of the season, I felt like the team could grow way more. And yeah, with Raimon One, I felt like they just let characters just go at some point. They just let characters go. And because of that, it just felt like, what potential is there? What potential is there, you know? Like, they can't really come up with anything new, but like, I felt like in Inakuni Raimon, there was just so much, let me put myself over there again. I just felt like there was just so much potential. So yeah, that's just basically what my tier list is. I feel like Raimon 1 is in the C tier. I feel like Inakuni Raimon is B, B-A-ish. But I just feel like Raimon 2 is just really on another level. And then Raimon 2, of course, just being very strong and very balanced. Very balanced. They have like a bit of everything, and it's just very well-rounded. And yeah, I feel like, of course, this team, Raimon 2, just also has, you know, more co-op moves, more variety. And everyone has a niche, but also has more on top of that. So I felt like that just puts them above Inakuni Raimon, and Inakuni Raimon is just above Raimon 1 because they just have more characters that just did more, or had better niches. So that's what it is in my opinion. And then of course Raimon Go just having Kishin shots and just overall just good team play, and very strong individual plays as well. So that is basically my tier list. I'm wondering what you guys think about it. I just came up with it just like randomly, you know, as I was riding back from home. So yeah, tell me what you guys think of it. I will see you guys in I guess in the next video. It was fun to talk about this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will. Oh, please put down in the comments what you would actually put in the tier list and why in the comment section below. Would love to know. So yeah, this of course obviously also my opinion. Like you can totally disagree with it. I really don't care. Legitimately, I don't care at all. You can burn my entire opinion if you want to. You can also not. It's all cool in my opinion, as long as we can just be respectful about it and just have a fun discussion. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.